Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. So as you guys know, Stephen A. Smith recently caught some flack because he tried to insinuate that Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves and these guys were faking an injury after or during the blowout by the Oklahoma City Thunder. You guys remember that, right? He spoke about this, I think it was last week on ESPN. And a lot of people called him out, like, what do you mean they're faking an injury? Like, this is unbecoming of you and this and this. So he actually did a show where he addressed it momentarily. So we kind of thought that that was over with. But then, being Stephen A. Smith, being the guy that has to get the ratings no matter what, he decided to take yet another shot at Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. So they were talking about the Lakers yesterday, and they were discussing their playoff outlook, given the fact that they're going to be playing against the Houston Rockets, and they're going to be shorthanded. Stephen A. Smith thinks the Lakers are going to get swept, and they were talking about that. And then later on, I think on his show, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Straight Shooter. Yes, it was Straight Shooter. He inexplicably decided to basically elevate LeBron James by calling out his teammates and essentially saying that he's sick of watching a 41-year-old who's in year 23 play while other guys are faking injuries like Luka and Austin Reeves. Why can LeBron play all of these games, but these other guys can't remain healthy? So what we want to do is we're going to play what Stephen A. Smith had to say, watch the video, and then we'll come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Smith here.
And let me tell you something people should be embarrassed about. I'm sick and tired of watching this man at age 41 now, in his 23rd year in the season. How the hell he healthy and Luka Doncic and A.R. Reeves and Austin Reeves ain't healthy? I mean, when does the shame kick in? And I'm just using them as an example to all these NBA players out here. If the man is known as spending $1.5 million on his body to keep healthy, right? Why the hell ain't you doing it? You making enough money if you're the average NBA player. League average salary is over $10 million a year. Quite a few of y'all are getting paid $40, $50 million a year. How come you can't take care of your body the way LeBron James takes care of his body? I mean, damn. Where's your pride? Where's your dignity? I'm just wondering about that. That's how I feel about it. I'm just saying. Doesn't anybody find that a tad bit odd that we sit here today and the Lakers got 2 injured stars on their team and neither of them are LeBron James? Luka's in his 20s. If I remember correctly, so is Austin Reeves. LeBron is 41. They injured, he healthy. How? I just don't get it.
So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say. Now, what are my thoughts about this? Well, guys, look. First of all, that was a cheap shot. Luka is legitimately injured. Legitimately. Right? He flew all the way to, I believe it was Spain, to have an operation or get some kind of fluid injected into him. I don't know what the fluid is, right? So Luka is injured. That's number one. Number two, what would Luka gain from faking an injury? What would he gain? Seriously. What would he gain from doing something like this? And my thing is, why can't you just, in this case, highlight the greatness of LeBron without trying to tear down Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves in the process of it? Like, what was the need for those comments? Because now all it's going to do is feed into this speculation that, oh, Luka and these guys are injured. So let me get are faking an injury. So let me get this straight. Luka Doncic, who led the league in scoring, is going to fake his own injury and miss out on an all-NBA team and all of these other awards where he can make even more money. And he's going to do that for what? Why would he do that? You said it. Why would he do it? Number two, you're talking about why can't he do it? They can't spend money on what LeBron James is spending and all of. Is Stephen A. Smith serious? Is he being serious? That because LeBron James said they or whatever it is, and by the way, LeBron has even denied that. He denied that on the Pat McAfee show. But let's just go with the narrative that LeBron spends over $1 million a year on his body. Are you suggesting that other players don't spend money on their body? Are you suggesting that Kawhi Leonard didn't spend money on his body? Are you suggesting that Kobe Bryant didn't spend money on his body and all the other players? Some people are able to avoid injury while others are not. The better question you should be asking, Stephen A., is how is LeBron at age 40 able to recover so much faster than everybody else? How? Why don't you ask those questions? Since you want to get in, put on your investigative hat, why don't you go down the rabbit hole of what Chael Sonnen was talking about? Who worked at ESPN? Why don't you address those comments? Because that will actually give you some insight into the stuff that you're talking about LeBron spending 1 point. Why don't you go down that rabbit hole? Of course you won't. Because Luka Doncic was an easy target because what? You're trying to make money and get ratings in that particular segment or whatever. That's what it was about. So let's do it at the expense of Luka Doncic. Meanwhile, you know that Luka is actually injured. You're asking questions about why these guys getting injured. Stephen A., why don't you ask the question, how is LeBron able to play at year 41, at age of 41 at this level when nobody else has been able to do it? You think it's because he spends $1.5 million a year and all of those other NBA players can afford it or never thought about it? Is that the conclusion you came to? He sleeps more than them? He eats better than them? Like, what are we talking about here? Since you want to go down the rabbit hole, go all the way down and ask the questions, but you would never do that. You would never do that. And the LeBron fans that are in support of you making these comments, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear it. That's why one of them, I'm reading a comment, one says, Stephen A. is not trashing LeBron for once. Another guy said, because LeBron is on PEDs and other players aren't allowed to use it. Another guy said, unfortunate injuries to both Luke and Reeves is not their fault. LeBron will have to carry them, blah, 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 blah. Another person said, LeBron is not sharing his new juice with his teammates. Not a bad take. My thing is, why didn't you do a video on Kevin Garnett when he said LeBron on that new Balco juice? I mean, you want to know how he's doing it. Why didn't you do a segment on that? Y'all know the game. Stop playing, man. Stop playing. Y'all are just running around here playing. Like, stop playing. Who y'all fooling? Who are y'all fooling? Like, y'all know the game, but y'all acting like y'all don't know. Why is Rick Bucher, a respected journalist, coming out and saying everybody knows in the NBA? He said it. Why does everybody knows in the NBA that LeBron is doing something? Why did you shut down Max Kellerman a number of years ago on ESPN when he was talking about the same story that Jeff Teague was talking about, and you said, oh, he was just drinking juice, or those are just juice, those are just vitamins, or whatever it was? Who you playing with, bro? Y'all be trying to beat y'all audience in the head because y'all know a lot of them are stupid, so they fall for it. Who you playing with? So you guys know the formula at, with these LeBron guys is always take a shot at other players in order to uplift their guy and LeBron James. So I came across an article today from Fadeaway World with the headline saying, Rich Paul shuts down narrative that LeBron has always played with all-star teammates. Really? It goes on. LeBron James's agent, Rich Paul, has shut down the narrative that LeBron has had heaps of all-star teammates he couldn't win championships with over his legendary NBA career. LeBron will stand shoulder to shoulder with all of the all-time greats that the NBA has ever seen, no matter what his critics say about that. Regardless of any negatives, that people want to say about James, his resume is one of the greatest basketball players is ever unquestionable. Whatever. While he might not be the single greatest player ever, it's hard for anyone to be objective and put him any lower than two all-time in an art. What? Is this whoever wrote this? Bro, you got to get it off your chin, man. Like, damn, son, get it off your chin. Whoever Fadeaway wrote this article, bro, wipe your chin, man. You Jesus. Anyway, one of the biggest arguments that detractors use to hurt his legacy is that LeBron's career accomplishment of 4 and 6 in the NBA Finals. When you add up the illustrious list of former All-Stars James has played with, the counting being 33 as of this season, many question the greatness because he's failed on the biggest stage with so many times despite having teammates of this caliber, but the truth isn't as black and white as it seems. James's agent and CEO of Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, shut down the narrative around James's all-star teammates over his career on an episode of Game Over. So let me read what Rich Paul said, right? And I think this is a direct shot at Kobe Bryant. Let me read this. He said, Rich Paul on the narrative, LeBron James has played with these all-stars throughout his career. I hope it's up. It then says, LeBron has always played better with less. People add all these people up that he played with, but those guys weren't even in their prime. If you put him with Shaq, prime Shaq, he has 12 rings. What are we talking about? So this is where I got to jump in. Rich Paul, what you mean LeBron is winning 12 rings with Shaq, bro? What you mean by that? If LeBron could win 12 rings with Shaq and Kobe could only win 3, that means LeBron is a hell of a guy. He must be really, really good. So LeBron gonna win 12 with Shaq, but Kobe could only win 3. How is that possible? First of all, the disrespect of Kobe needs to stop, bro. You're disrespecting Kobe by proxy. You're talking about if he had Shaq. Rich, Kobe tried to show the world what he could do without Shaq. You're talking about if LeBron played with Shaq. Kobe Bryant went out of his way to win championships, and he did. More without Shaq than Shaq did without him. That's number one. Rich Paul, how many championships did Shaq have before Kobe Bryant joined him? How many? When he was playing with players like Penny Hardaway, how many championships did Shaq have? 0, right? 0. So, as far as I know, Shaq has 1 ring. He never won with before he got Kobe. After he played with Kobe, he won 1. But after Kobe played with Shaq, he won 2. That's the first thing. The second thing, based on LeBron's playing style, it would not work. What LeBron are we talking about? I don't know if you know anything about LeBron and Kobe's game. They're totally different. Kobe was a jump shooter, particularly a mid-range jump shooter that shot in the low 40s, around over 40% from the mid-range, right? Outside of 10 feet. Kobe shot that. LeBron outside of 10 feet shoots 37%. But if you go look at Kobe Bryant's game, Kobe complemented Shaq perfectly because Kobe didn't need the ball to operate. More importantly, at the time LeBron was playing that you're talking about, LeBron would be deemed totally ineffective if he didn't have the ball at that time. Because this success that you're talking about, LeBron, for him to have success, he needs to play with a certain set of people, especially people that can stretch the floor and shoot. When Kobe played with Shaq, Kobe operated a lot in the mid post and in the mid range. That's where Kobe operated. Shaq dominated the paint, so those driving lanes were not there. When Kobe was playing with the Lakers, they only had a few specialists that could hit threes. At that time in the NBA, they had specialists. Not everybody was shooting threes. So the Lakers were using a triangle offense. You're telling me you're going to replace a non-shooting LeBron who cannot shoot from the mid-range. You're going to replace him with Kobe Bryant, who was a mid-range assassin, late game closer, could hit free throws at the end of games. You're going to replace him with that, and they're going to win 12 rings with LeBron's playing style. When you know the majority of LeBron's offense comes from attacking the basket. You know that. But the paint will be clogged. So what's going to happen? Shaq is going to turn into what? Chris Bosh? Or Kevin Love? Go look at the big men that LeBron has played with and look at what their games turned into. Chris Bosh, Kevin Love. What did they turn into? Even Anthony Davis at a certain point. What did they turn into? But you're saying that LeBron could win 12 rings. 12 with Shaq, but Kobe could only do 3. Bro, it means that you're saying LeBron is exponentially better than Kobe. Then fine, let's say that. Rich. Let's say LeBron is exponentially better than Kobe Bryant. Let's say that, right? LeBron still played with Anthony Davis. He still played with Luka Doncic. He still played with Kyrie Irving. He still played with Kevin Love. He still played with D Wade. He still played with Chris Bosh. He still played with Rajon Rondo. Those guys were not outside. Is Luka Doncic outside of his prime? What about Anthony Davis? Was he outside of his prime? What about Kyrie Irving? Was he outside of his prime? What are we talking? Bro, why can't y'all just give this dude his props and call it a day? Rich, LeBron played with a lot of all-stars. And if you want to compare him to Michael Jordan, I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about these guys weren't in their primes. Dennis Rodman was 38, 37 years old in 1998. Dennis Rodman. Jordan played with how many Hall of Famers? I think Parrish for like 1 year. So Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, Dennis Rodman. How many Hall of Famers did LeBron play with, Rich Paul? How many? I'm running out of fingers. How many? Should we count them? How many Hall of Famers? How many? Carmelo Anthony was the same age as Dennis Rodman when he played with LeBron James. The same age, 37 years old. Let's go through them. Hall of Famers: Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Rose. Matter of fact, I'll remove Derrick Rose. I'll remove him. I'll even remove Shaq. Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony, future Hall of Famer Anthony Davis, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. Who else am I missing? Kyrie Irving is going into the Hall of Fame. Kevin Love is most likely going to go into the Hall of Fame. Who else am I missing? Luka Doncic. Bro, what are you talking about? Just call it a day. Son didn't win as many titles as those guys. Knock it off with the 12 rings. Knock it off. LeBron has played with immensely talented players. LeBron has played with the most number one picks, I think, in NBA history. And while you're talking about LeBron's dominance, Rich Paul, how is it possible if LeBron is so dominant during his East run when he was going to titles that I think he only played against one All-NBA player in Derrick Rose? How's that possible? How do you explain that? What about the weak-ass East? Explain that. I get it. That's your man, but damn. Like, damn, son. Damn, we get it. That's your man, but damn. So as you guys know, LeBron fans are secretly praying for Luka Doncic to come back and come save him, right? Because they know that's the only chance that they have left. They sat there and trashed this guy the entire season, and now all of a sudden they're crying for him to come back. So today we have some major updates that I want to get into. The first one is from the article. It says, Lakers get stunning Luka Doncic update after Spain treatment report is disputed. Continues on. It says, the Luka Doncic star of Los Angeles Lakers prepare to do battle with the Houston Rockets in Game 1 of the playoffs this weekend. As the Lakers try to rally behind the absence of Doncic, they are hopeful the 27-year-old point guard can make a sooner than expected recovery. Doncic incurred a grade 2 hamstring strain, an injury that often requires at least a month-long recovery just 12 days ago. LA plays its opening playoff game in 4 days. In less than 2 weeks, Doncic has been sidelined. There has been much speculation over his approach to rehab. Doncic's trip to Spain to seek specialized treatment on his hamstring has been well publicized. It then continues on. Yesterday, it was reported Doncic reached the end of his overseas treatment and intends to return to the United States this week. From there, Doncic will be evaluated by the Lakers medical team to perhaps determine a targeted return date. This morning, reports from Spain suggested Doncic's hamstring injury was more serious than initially believed, but the claim was later disputed, with his camp maintaining the original recovery timeline. Conflicting Luka Doncic reports come to light. For over a week, Doncic has been overseas in an attempt to expedite his grade 2 hamstring strain recovery. He incurred the injury in April 2nd against Oklahoma City Thunder. In that game, Doncic flashed signs of apparent discomfort in the hamstring. Later, Lakers head coach J.J. Redick stated he consulted with Doncic and the medical staff whether the star guard should play in the second half. According to Redick, everyone was in cahoots that Doncic could go back in the game. In the third quarter, Doncic began hobbling while attacking. On offense, he immediately dropped the basketball and drifted away from the action. He exited the locker room and did not return to the game. With the injury to Doncic coming just over 2 weeks before the start of the playoffs, the Lakers were put in a rough spot. That's not to mention the loss of Austin Reeves, who sustained an injury the same. And then it goes on to say a few other things. Then we got another article. It says Lakers get shocking news. Austin Reeves update before the playoffs. Continues on. It says, the recovery time for a grade 2 oblique strain is usually 4 to 6 weeks, so Los Angeles guard Austin Reeves is expected to be out of action until at least the first week of May. However, ESPN's Brian Windhorst dropped a bombshell on Tuesday morning suggesting that Reeves could return for the latter part of the Lakers' first-round playoff series against the Houston Rockets, which begins on Saturday. There are potential Laker playoff opponents who felt that there were a better chance based on their analysis of the situation that Austin Reeves could play sooner rather than later, Windhorst told Hoops Collective podcast. And that is, as the team was preparing to potentially see the Lakers, they are preparing for Austin Reeves potentially to play in the first round series at some point. And then it goes on, it says Lakers waiting for Austin Reeves and AR and Luka Doncic. Windhorst was referring to his conversation with a few Western Conference teams preparing for the first round matchup playoffs against the Lakers after Reeves and Luka. And then it goes on to say that. And then it says basically people are speculating that Reeves may come back sooner rather than later. I got to say this. You can see the desperation in the air. These LeBron guys are desperate. They want these guys to come back so soon. I mean, they want them to come back so badly that they can give LeBron an opportunity to win a champion. They want it so bad. That's why LeBron fans are freaking out. The same LeBron fans that spent the entire season trashing Luka Doncic are the same ones crying about, oh, Luka's faking it. I thought he's trash. Why do you care? Why do you care? I mean, the guy's leading the league in scoring, but according to y'all, he's trash. So why are y'all concerned with what Luka Doncic is doing? According to y'all, Luka's the best player. I mean, LeBron is the best player on the Lakers. So let him do what the best player does. You don't need Luka Doncic's 33, 7, and 8. You don't need that. A guy that shot 47.6% from the floor, 78% from the free throw line with a plus minus of 2.9. You don't need him. You got LeBron. You keep saying that Luka's ass and Luka does this and Luka foul baits and Luka does that and Luka does this. Why are you crying for Luka Doncic to return? You don't need him. Remember, he's ass cheeks. Remember? Why are y'all crying for him? Let him live. If Luka, I mean, it's so crazy to the point where like Luka's spending time with his daughter. What's wrong with y'all? Seriously, what's wrong with y'all? Well, y'all got problems. Y'all complain about a man spending time with his daughter. Come back and help LeBron. Why are you spending time with your daughter? You complaining about a player missing time when LeBron missed the first month and a half of the season? You're talking about Luka was playing with his son. Where was this when LeBron was playing basketball with Kai Cenat when he was supposed to be injured and missing training camp? I'm confused. Y'all said nothing. As a matter of fact, back then, y'all were urging LeBron to stay out. Oh, stay out, LeBron. They don't want to extend you. They want to act like they don't need you. Then stay out. Y'all was actually hyping your man to stay out. But now all of a sudden, you care about players coming back from injuries. I'm confused. Y'all were over there like, yeah, LeBron, stick it to the Lakers. They want to act like they don't need you. They want to move on from you. Then don't come back. Take your sweet time, LeBron. I remember y'all, bozos, early in the year. I remember y'all. But now all of a sudden, what's Luka doing over there? What's taking him so long? Don't worry about what Luka's doing. If I'm Luka, I'm not rushing back. It's not like as if the Lakers are going to win the championship anyway. So what's the rush? I'm going to rush my health for this dude? For this dinosaur? For what? He's not even going to be here next year. What am I rushing myself for? He wasn't rushing to get back when we needed help in the beginning of the season. That didn't happen. So why y'all want him to rush now? Why are you expecting things out of other players you don't expect from your man? Y'all spent the early part of the year celebrating LeBron. Oh, yeah, man. Still sit out, LeBron. Don't come back. You remember the first game when he came back and he was pouting like hell all over the court? When he sat down, he didn't clap, he didn't stand up, he didn't do nothing for the entire first game. Where were y'all then? Where were y'all then? Y'all was supporting him. Y'all were like, yeah, LeBron, go, do it. Y'all supported him. But now all of a sudden, you know one or two things about to get happen. Either your man is about to get blasted in round one and you want somebody to come save him. Or at the very least, if he can't save him, somebody else to take the blame. Because now LeBron gonna have to face it. If LeBron starts putting up ass shots in these playoff games, you have nobody else to blame. But of course, I got an excuse. He's 41 years old. I was arguing with some dweeb last night. LeBron can do nothing but add to his legacy. Anything that happens can't hurt him. But then be the same cornball fan base that was making fun of Jordan's Wizards years. You can't make it up. These guys are idiots. Well-known, documented buffoons. They trash Michael Jordan at his old age, but in LeBron, you can't trash him at his old age. Why? Because they lick honey sticks. The playoffs are going to be starting this weekend, but I think the play-in games begin tonight, right? So there are going to be some games, some seeding that still needs to be decided in the East and Western conferences, both 7 and 8 seeds in both conferences, right? So we're going to see that this week. But one of the biggest lead-ups is going to be into the weekend with the Lakers playing against the Houston Rockets. I think that's going to be the most promoted first-round series by the media because they're already doing it. Yesterday, they spoke about this on ESPN First Take, and Stephen A. Smith said the Lakers don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. He said they're going to get swept. Iman Shumpert came out there and said that the Lakers don't have a single chance of winning against the Houston Rockets, right? So today they brought on Kendrick Perkins, right? And Kendrick Perkins is a guy that chases viral moments on ESPN. He has done it a lot over the years, and today again he did it. So he's on there, and all of a sudden Kendrick Perkins gets into this whole thing of if LeBron James wins this series against Kevin Durant, he should be no, there won't be a GOAT debate anymore between LeBron and Michael Jordan. Take a listen to ESPN Kendrick Perkins here.
Do you realize that the Lakers are one of the biggest underdogs to start the playoffs? They have a 15% chance at winning this series. And let me explain why I say it's LeBron James. No Luka Doncic, no Austin Reeves. If a 41-year-old LeBron James in the head-to-head matchup with Kevin Durant comes out and pulls off this victory and comes out victorious in this series, I don't want to hear a damn thing anymore about the GOAT conversation. The GOAT conversation will be officially over. I don't want to hear from Stephen A. I don't want to hear from my brother Mike Wilborn. I don't want to hear none of that. If a 41-year-old LeBron James comes out and lead this Laker team to a first-round victory, being a heavy underdog, I don't want to hear anything about the GOAT conversation.
Oh, please.
When you look at the roster that he has, Jake LaRavia, we're talking about Bronny, Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton against this Houston Rockets team in the head-to-head with Kevin Durant. LeBron James has everything to gain in this series at the age of 41 years old. Everything.
Oh, first of all, I don't want to hear anything about the GOAT conversation. First of all, LeBron is the GOAT of longevity. I'll give him that. Nobody has been this great for this long in the history of professional sports, as far as I'm concerned. LeBron James is the GOAT of longevity, no doubt about it. But LeBron at his best against MJ at his best, just stop it. We ain't even having that discussion. Ain't no damn first-round series going to alleviate that narrative. It ain't going to happen. You can try it all you want. And by the way, you watch your mouth. Put Perk back up on that screen piece when I'm talking to him right now.
So you heard what Kendrick Perkins had to say. This is where we are. If LeBron beats Kevin Durant in round one, he will be the GOAT. Kendrick, why would that be the case? Are the Houston Rockets favored to come out of the West? So LeBron can beat a team because he's undermanned, and that would make him the GOAT. How about he just did a good job? Why would that be enough to make him the greatest player of all time? How is winning a first-round series make you the greatest player of all time? How? This is stupidity, bro. Like, this is what ESPN has turned into. A bunch of hot take artists that have nothing else better to say. This is nonsense. Like, this is pure, unadulterated mumbo jumbo. Winning a first round series makes you now better than Michael. What does LeBron winning this first round have to do with anything about Michael Jordan? Kendrick, I got another question for you. So let me get this straight. Michael Jordan being 6-0 in the finals doesn't make him the GOAT, but LeBron winning a round one series makes him the GOAT. Michael Jordan having 10 scoring titles and 9 all-defensive teams with a defensive player of the year, that doesn't make him the GOAT. But LeBron winning a first-round matchup against an old-ass Kevin Durant makes him the GOAT. So now winning first-round series makes you the GOAT. Kendrick, do you realize the Lakers wouldn't even be in the playoffs had it not been for Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves? Do you know they carried that team? The reason why the Lakers have such a low they're giving them such low odds to win the series is because Luka and Reeves are not there. The best players are not there. That's why. But now, if he beats Kevin Durant in round one, he's better than Michael Jordan. Bro, I want to read through some of the comments of when Kendrick Perkins said this. And I'm going to go to the Twitter one. No. A lot of people didn't even react to it. Let's go to, I don't know if they reacted to it on ESPN. They probably did. But look, at a certain point, we gotta get serious about sports media. We have to. I get it. Everybody's trying to go viral, but these kind of takes diminishes the medium. These are idiotic, boneheaded takes. What do you mean that by winning a first round series, it makes you better than the greatest player to ever play the sport? What do you even mean by that? And number two, what is this thing of always talking about Michael Jordan? Why y'all so quick to talk about MJ like he not that dude? Let me read through some of the comments from the YouTube, what the people said on YouTube on this same video. Perkins on them perks. Let me read what some people said. Y'all dudes gotta let it go. Y'all in love with Mike. Okay, that's the dude that got honey all over his chin. Another guy says, like clockwork, every year the ridiculous GOAT debate with LeBron James. Another person said, well, okay, then they started getting into the whole thing. Perk just be talking about nothing. Here goes Perk with the clutch sports propaganda. Why the heck would LeBron beating a barely good Rockets team make him the GOAT? Another guy said, didn't Perk say it was KD yesterday? Another guy says, LeBron network. Another guy says, does Perkins know the GOAT conversation has been over since 1998? And then it just kept on going on and on and on and on and on. I think that ESPN putting out this kind of content is actually doing a disservice to their viewers, and I think it's making their audience dumber. Because that's a dumb take on any level. No player in NBA history was judged by what they did in round one. What are we talking about? Is the bar that low for LeBron that all he needs now is to get out of the first round? It's not even winning championships anymore. It's just like, if he gets out of the first round, y'all want him to be the GOAT so bad. Y'all want this dude to be let it go. Nobody thinks LeBron is the GOAT except LeBron fans. That's all. They're the only ones that have this impression. Like, let it go. It's over. It's tired. Like, we're tired of this conversation, and y'all lame at it. Like, let this argument go. It's stale. It's dirty. It's disgusting. It's rotten. Let it go. Oh, my God. LeBron fans still arguing that LeBron. Like, come on. Let it go, bro. Y'all had y'all chance in the Sun, and y'all blew it. Son got bodied by JJ Barea, but you talking about he the GOAT. What are we talking about? JJ Barea. Y'all talking about LeBron the great, he can even guard Jason Terry. No disrespect to Jason Terry. Son couldn't even lock up JJ Barea, bro. What are we doing? What are we doing? Come on, man. Like, get out of here with this nonsense.